photo 8 years before. Everyone stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Mike Mazik, Melanin Queen 27. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, The Box Storian. Today, boxing in the States, New Mexico. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Storian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone today? This is the Thursday afternoon edition of Cash Sports, The Box Storian. second day of the new year, right? It's still a second, right? Today, boxing in the States, New Mexico. We'll pull right back up on another weekend. How is everybody today? As we get 2025 started, bringing you another big year of boxing history. We're going to get started today with the highlights of boxing history, like we always do. We're up to 1996. Great show yesterday. I thought I appreciate everybody that came by. We're going to talk about a brief history and then talk about some women's boxing. You know, there were actually, there's only been ever 3 15-round women's fights. Okay, and I got the 3 of them for you today. The first 15-round women's fight was in New Mexico. Okay. And then it was a big fight between Jack Johnson and Fireman Jim Flynn in Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico. We're going to talk about that one. And then I got about 10 to 15 boxers from New Mexico. And I think we're going to have some time at the end. We didn't get the best ever trilogies in yesterday. We're going to do that today. How's that for a backup plan? You know, we did all those different categories, best ever yesterday, and ran short on the trilogies. We're going to get them in today, though. See, I use my head, man, for more than for putting a hat on. Okay, so let's get started with the highlights of boxing history. 1996 is where we're at today. But how's everybody? Good to see everybody today on this Thursday afternoon, January 2nd, 2025. Wow, getting up there. Okay, 1996. Oh, wait a minute now. I got to show my picture, my historic picture. It's a different one. It's not the bite fight this time. It's, there it is right there. Historic picture from the 90s. Greatest boxers, 1990s. I got greatest covered a little bit, but I don't have it covered. That's Spring, what's the name of this? StreamYard has it covered a little bit. It says greatest boxers 1990s. From left to right, Oscar De La Hoya, Evander Holyfield, Roy Jones, and Lennox the Lion Lewis. Okay, let's talk about a little boxing, highlights of boxing history. Okay, on March 16th, 1996, Iron Mike Tyson defeats Frank Bruno by a 3rd round knockout to win the WBC heavyweight title. And that's significant because that was Mike's title. First title out of when he came back from prison. Yep, was the WBC beat the British fighter Frank Bruno. So Mike did make a nice comeback. You know, when he came back out, he became a champion again. Iron Mike, nice little bounce back for him. July 11th, 1996. Andrew Galata gets disqualified during the 7th round of a fight against Riddick Bowe at Madison Square Garden for striking low blows, not low blows, plural, against Bowe. And a massive riot ensued in which many civilians are injured. Yeah, they got tired of those low blows. And then in the rematch, later on, that in the 90s, Galata got disqualified again for guess what? Low blows. In the rematch for Bowe, he did the same thing. He must didn't like Riddick, I guess. September 7th, 1996. Mike Tyson again. Mike Tyson defeats Bruce Seldon in 1 round for the WBA heavyweight title, unifying it with the WBC heavyweight title he already holds. Remember, he had just won that a few months ago. Also on that date, Tupac Shakur, who had attended the fight, was fatally shot that same night, and he died 6 days later. Yep. Tupac was at the fight, and that was the night where he got shot. He died 6 days later. September 24th, 1996. Mike Tyson is stripped of the WBC heavyweight title. Yep, but he still had the WBA, but he got stripped of the WBC the same year he won it, just a few months later. Yep. Iron Mike had a lot going on in 96. Wow. He won the title on March 16th and got stripped of it on December 14th. Iron Mike. Let's go to 1997. February 7th, 1997. Lennox the Lion Lewis regains the now vacant WBC heavyweight title against his only conqueror, Oliver McCall, in a bizarre fight. Remember, McCall had stopped Lewis. That was his only loss to that point. And it was bizarre because McCall all of a sudden refused to fight after the third round and begins to cry in the ring, forcing the referee to stop the fight in the fifth round. He just, after the third round, wouldn't fight anymore, started crying, but he made it through the fourth, and then in the fifth, the referee said, "That's it. I don't know what's wrong with this guy." Yeah. Oliver just burst out crying. And was in the fight. He had knocked Lennox out the first time and was well in that one, you know. Had a chance of winning. Yeah, Oliver McCall. Very bizarre. March 1st, 1997. Sugar Ray Leonard returns to the ring after a 6-year absence at the age of 41 years old and gets stopped for the first time in his career by Hector Camacho. And then he retires for good after the fight, where he should have stayed at. He had been out 6 years. Now, Sugar Ray was commentating on the fight when Camacho's fought Roberto Duran. And like Mikey and Robert Garcia, Sugar Ray thought he saw something. So he called Camacho out and went in there and got stopped for the first time. But he thought he saw something. Okay, March 21st, 1997. Roy Jones Jr. loses his WBC light heavyweight title by disqualification. He hit Montel Griffin after Griffin took a knee. And that was the first loss in Roy's career. And guess what? At that point, he was actually behind on 2 scorecards. Yep. But Roy came back in the rematch and stopped Montel in the first round. That was his only loss in the 1990s. Yep. Disqualification. March 21st, 1997. Oh, that was March 21st, 1997 right there. Sorry. April 12th, 1997. Forgot to cross it out. April 12th, 1997, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, defeats Pernell Whitaker by unanimous decision to win the lineal and WBC welterweight championship. June 28th, 1997. Evander Holyfield wins by disqualification. You know what happened. Over Mike Tyson. After Tyson bites Holyfield's ear twice. Yeah, I had that up there yesterday because I thought we was going to get to this. I had the picture up yesterday, but I kept running my mouth after every date and we didn't make it. But yeah, Mike, and you know, I told you yesterday what happened. Mike bit him twice, actually. The first time he didn't bite part of the ear off, he just bit him. And referee Mills Lane was ready to disqualify him, but Holyfield and his team wanted to continue. And after consulting with the ring doctor, Mills Lane said, "Okay, let it continue." And then Mike bit him again, this time bit part of his ear off. Mike must have been hungry or something, I don't know. And what was Evander doing? Well, you don't just bite somebody's ear off. You had to chew it off, and Evander was standing there letting him chew part of his ear off, man. Whew. But Mike was, after the second biting, he was disqualified. I think he got suspended and fined and everything, but he came back after that. Yeah, that was June 28th. And it became known as the bite fight. Yeah. August 7th, 1997. Roy Jones Jr. regains his WBC light heavyweight title by first round knockout in his rematch against Montel Griffin. So he avenged his only loss of the decade. And my big mouth told you about it already when I was talking about the last one. Like, I'm sorry, I got to stop doing that. Follow the script. Let's go to 1998. Okay. On August 22nd, 1998. Starting out deep into it. Yvonne Robinson defeats Arturo Gatti by split decision. The fight was named Fight of the Year by Ring Magazine. Because, Arturo Gatti was never in a boring fight. Arturo was a tough man. He's one of the only fighters I ever seen get up from a liver shot. That fight, he lost it to Mickey Ward. I think it was their first fight. But Arturo actually got up from a liver shot, man. Yeah. Yep. October 3rd, 1997. Floyd Mayweather Jr., age 21, defeats Gennaro Hernandez to win the lineal and WBC super featherweight titles, becoming the first 1996 U.S. Olympian to win a world title. And that was Floyd's first title. He had turned pro the previous year, 96, late 96. And that was his first title. 1998, wasn't it? Yeah, 1998. That was Money Pretty Boy then, first title. November 6, 1998. After being absent for nearly 2 years, the hitman Thomas Hearns was back in the ring in his hometown of Detroit, Michigan, to knock out Jay Snyder in the first round. He gave the hometown crowd a treat. The hitman got him out of there in the first round. Must have been that lethal, had to be that lethal right hand. Behind that jab, one of the best ever. Okay. Hitman had one of the best jabs ever. Ooh, I gotta keep refreshing my chat because missed a lot of people. Miss Mike Rem, one of my longest and biggest supporters. Salute, Mike Rem. How are you today, bro? Good to see you. We're talking a little highlights of boxing history. And Ken Saul Love 1 is in the building too. Oh man, I hope I didn't block nobody. My big fingers. What's up, Ken Saul Love 1? If anybody's venture something disappeared, it's an accident. Just let me know. I'll put it back because I just went to the page where it says block or something. My hand hit it. So let me know. I blocked the legendary Thomas Hill one time, man. By mistake, though. But salute Mike Rim and Ken Saul Love 1. And of course, Jarrell Hattie. Ken Saul Love 1 is in here. Jarrell Hattie is definitely in here. What's up, Jarrell? Happy New Year. How are you today? Let me get back to the highlights of boxing history. Let's see. Who else? Okay. Sanctus is back. Sanctus Deuce Cruar. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm bad on names. But I said I was going to call you Sanctus yesterday. Salute, Sanctus. He says, Oliver, I can't stop crying, McCall. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw it when it happened to Sanctus. That was crazy. And nobody knows what was wrong with him to this day. Why he burst out crying like that, man. Must have had some personal stuff going on, I guess. I don't know, but salute, Sanctus. Good to see you back, bro. Again. Sanctus was putting some good stuff in the chat yesterday. I can tell he's a boxing historian. Yeah. I get him, it's taken a while, but, all the boxing historians are eventually showing up over here. But they keep coming back, okay? But where were we? I don't know, it's almost 2:30 now. I think it was October 1st. No, 1998. Okay, let's finish up the 90s because we're at 99 now. 1999. 1999. Was it 19? Is that how that song went? March 13th, 1999. WBA and IBF champion, the real deal, Evander Holyfield, and WBC champion, Lennox the Lion Lewis meet in a unification heavyweight fight at Madison Square Garden. But the fight ends in a very, 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 very controversial draw. Yeah, Lennox clearly won that fight. They had that lady, what was the lady's name? Was it Eugenia Williams, something like that? One round, Lennox outscored Evander like 50-10 or something, right? And she gave the round to Holyfield, and Lewis outscored it like quadrupled the amount of punches landed. And she gave the round to Holyfield. And they say, where were you, in the bathroom or something during that round? She should have never judged another fight. And she continued to screw up cards for years after that. I don't think she's judging anymore. That should have been her last fight right there. September 18th, 1999. That was crazy. In what was billed as the fight of the millennium, Felix Trinidad defeats Arthur De La Hoya by a close, controversial majority decision. The fight generated 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, generating a record for a non-heavyweight fight at that time, yeah. And that was very controversial, and that was still early in both their careers, and we just knew we was going to get that rematch, but it never happened. Never happened. Yeah, he definitely did, Sanctus. That was crazy. And we just knew we was going to get a rematch for that one, but it never happened. And they were both still very early in their careers, Yeah, that's right, T. Hill. That's what I was trying to say, party like it's 1999, but I messed it all up. I better stick to being a box historian. Don't quit my day job, right? And finally, for 1999, November 13th, Lennox Lewis becomes the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in the rematch against Evander Holyfield by unanimous decision. They got it right that time. That's what it should have been the first time. Yeah, but they did get it right the second time. Okay, let's get ready to get on this boxing in the States. Yeah, they beat it. I thought he beat it. It wasn't even close, Sanctus. Boxing in the States, New Mexico. Okay. We still got a ways to go. I told y'all we started this way back May last year. I told you it'd be 2025 before we finished. And we're still only in the ends, New Mexico. I believe New York is next week, right? Yeah. I did a history of New York in 2023. So I'm going to find that when I get to New York. Okay. Boxing in the States. New Mexico. Okay. When I'm in somebody else's chat, the chat moves up automatically, but when I'm doing my own, I got to scroll up myself. I don't understand that. Yeah. That's why I always get the people late when they come in. But I'm going to correct that. Okay. Boxing in the States, New Mexico. Now, let me take a drink first. Is that okay? Thank you. I think, what's this weekend? Is it Jai Apataya? It's a Jai Apataya this weekend, right? In the fight against the guy, the late replacement. I think, I'm not sure. No, that might be next weekend. But I know we got the Monster in January also. Yeah. And then February 1st. Y'all know what that one is. David versus David. Me and Jarrell got David in that one. David versus David. Me and Jarrell Hattie has David to win that one, okay? Now, boxing in New Mexico has a rich history that has paralleled the state's struggles. Let me get my glasses. I'm having trouble reading. Some days my eyes working good, some days they're working bad. This is one of the bad days. There we go. Much better. Boxing in New Mexico has a rich history that has paralleled the state's struggles and triumphs, from the Wild West to the Depression. Now, here are some notable events and people in the history of boxing in New Mexico. Now, the first official prize fight on June 28, 1868, was a bare knuckles brawl between Barney Duffy and an unidentified fighter. Took place 35 miles north of Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? And the unidentified fighter's name was Jack. He died from his injuries in that fight, yeah? He died from his injuries. And then they had a Jack Johnson fight down there in 1912. We're going to talk about that a little more later. In 1912, black world heavyweight champion Jack Johnson. It is him and he fought Fireman Jim Flynn. There they are. People must be coming in. That number is moving, but yeah. We got a few Warriors today. Salute to the mighty Warriors. Everybody hitting the light? Yes, they are. Okay. Yeah, the Jack Johnson fought there. Let's talk about that one. We're going to go into that a little bit deeper later, but briefly. In 1912, black world heavyweight champion Jack Johnson fought Fireman Jim Flynn in Las Vegas, not Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico. Okay? Yeah, they fought in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Now, the fight was a bid by Las Vegas, New Mexico businessmen to bring national prestige to their town. We're going to get into that more in a few minutes. Just briefly touching on some highlights in New Mexico. Women's boxing. In 1983, the Civic Auditorium in Albuquerque, New Mexico, hosted a women's boxing event. At the time, women's boxing was considered a special feature, and it was difficult to find women to compete in the sport. And we're also going to look at that a little more in one moment. Now let's look at the Jack Johnson and Fireman Jim Flynn fight first. Okay. Yeah, it was hard to find women to compete around that time. Al Booger. What's happening, Al Booger? How are you today, bro? That's right, Sanctus. I'm taking the safe pick. Probably won't win no money on that pick, but it's the safe one. But what's up, AB? How are you today? New Mexico. Yeah, let's talk about that Jack Johnson versus Fireman Jim Flynn fight they had down there in New Mexico. In Las Vegas, New Mexico. Yeah. I never knew until yesterday it was a Las Vegas, New Mexico. Did anybody know that? Las Vegas, New Mexico? Wow. Yeah. But that's where this historic fight was at. And it was a group of businessmen bid for the fight to try to bring prestige to their town. Now, this author by the name of Toby Smith chronicles this historic New Mexico boxing match, right? He wrote a book on it called The Crazy Fourth. Now, in 1912, Las Vegas, New Mexico's businessmen bid $100,000 to host a prize fight that they hoped would bring national prestige to their town, right? But, I done scrolled up. But, it was tiny Las Vegas, New Mexico, not the famous gambling capital in Nevada, that hosted the fight. Tiny Las Vegas, New Mexico, right? Now, the boxers were black world heavyweight champion Jack Johnson, and the challenger was Fireman Jim Flynn, a white boxer making his second attempt at the world heavyweight title. The first one was not against Jack, okay? Now, Toby Smith, a former sports writer for the Albuquerque Journal and teacher at the University of New Mexico, has chronicled the historic fight in his new book, Crazy Fourth, how Jack Johnson kept his heavyweight title. Now, I don't know how new it is now. Now, he taught in the communications and journalism department for more than 10 years at the University of New Mexico. Now, he said, I had known about the Johnson-Flynn fight in Las Vegas beginning in the late 1970s, maybe even earlier. Jack Johnson had become well known in American boxing circles as far back as the 1880s, before he even won the title. Now, Johnson's goal in life was to become boxing's world heavyweight champion, because he had the colored heavyweight championship for a number of years before he got a chance to fight for the regular championship, right? And that was his goal in life, to be the regular world heavyweight champion. He had to climb a very difficult ladder to do this until he fought the great Jim Jeffries, right? In 1910, Johnson took on Jeffries, right? And fans at the Johnson-Jeffries fight in Reno, Nevada, yelled for Jeffries to kill that N-word, right? I hope they don't. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But that's what the thing said. The thing said the real thing, you know. I said N-word. But when Johnson beat Jeffries, the world was shocked that a black man had won. And to keep his world title, Johnson agreed to fight Jim Flynn, a boxer he had already beaten severely in 1907. Okay, so Jim Flynn's first shot was against, I don't know if Johnson had it in 1907, but they had fought before, and Johnson had beat him severely. I'm trying to think in Jim Flynn's first fight, but first title attempt might not have been against Johnson. Anybody know? But I know he had beat him previously, severely. Now, Johnson agreed to come to Las Vegas, New Mexico to fight Flynn, right? And Flynn was a mediocre fighter from Colorado. Flynn became known, when he was going up to fight Johnson, he became known as the Great White Hope, among the first of a number of white contenders who were billed as the hope of the white race to get the belt away from Johnson, right? From Jack Johnson. Now, Johnson knew he would win easily. He would be paid $100,000 for this fight. When Johnson and Flynn finally met in the boxing ring on July 4th, 1912, nothing about the overhyped and greatly anticipated fight went according to plan. Bad sportsmanship, police interference, and an abrupt conclusion all shaped an event that a newspaper reporter dubbed one of the poorest exhibitions in the history of the ring. A photo from the fight shows Johnson laughing as Flynn struggles against him in the ring. Yeah, Jack did that a lot. He would talk to his opponent, talk to the audience. You know, he did that in a lot of his fights. Right, AB? Yeah, he would talk to the audience, taunt his opponents. Yeah. Now, Johnson's life was complicated from living in an era of Jim Crow laws that enforced segregation. He was married several times, including to white women, and went to prison under the Mann Act, a law designed to combat forced prostitution, after an all-white jury convicted him. Now, also, Smith explained, more than 100 years ago, numerous southern states did not want to see a black man get in the ring against a white man. But in the northern states, black fighters were allowed, right? Now, New Mexico, the recently minted state of New Mexico at that time, had no laws forbidding the interracial fight. That's why they had it down in New Mexico, okay? Now, that charge that Jack Johnson went to prison for, Donald Trump pardoned him, or wiped it off of his record in his first presidency. I think it was like 2018, so the record was wiped clean. Over 100 years later, you know, he never should have been in that position in the first place. Now, Al Booger says, Jack Johnson is my top 5 all-time boxer because of his in-ring and outside the ring persona. Jack Johnson and Muhammad Ali are in my top 5. Yeah, I knew that, AB. AB knows a lot about Jack Johnson. Yep. And he just says he's in his top 5. Now, Jack Johnson should never be forgotten. He fought racism his entire life. He was sentenced to spend time at Leavenworth Penitentiary for breaking a law concocted just to put him in prison, right? You know, the law was made up just to get Jack Johnson. Now, Johnson, who loved to drive fast, died in an automobile accident in 1946. He was 58 years old. Jack Johnson, yeah. So that was a little interesting article. Now, let's talk about some women's boxing history that was made in New Mexico. Okay? Now, Sanctus says, Jack Johnson wasn't just the first black heavyweight. Oh, shoot, my big hands. I hit the thing again. That was very interesting. Okay, here we go. Let me start over. Sanctus says, Jack Johnson wasn't just the first black heavyweight champion. He's the original flamboyant, dapper fighter. Guys like Kid Chocolate and Sugar Ray Robinson got it from him. Yeah, good point. I told you. Sanctus, we got another historian over here, y'all. Told you they coming slowly but surely. Appreciate you, Sanctus. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Sugar Ray and Kid Chocolate did get it from Jack Johnson. Yeah. Define Arnie 1 in the building. What's up, Define Arnie 1? Boxing in the States, New Mexico. Okay, let's talk about some women's boxing history that was made down there in New Mexico. Now, these pictures here are not women, the actual women that was in those fights. I couldn't find them. But since there's some women's fights, I just got a couple pictures of some women fighting. I think I got one of Caskilla in here too. Jessica McCaskill. Now, women's boxing history made in New Mexico. Now, there were only 3 15-round fights that ever took place in women's boxing history. The first took place in New Mexico, right? The year was 1983. The venue was at the Civic Auditorium in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Women's boxing was a struggle in the late 1970s and 1980s with the difficulty of finding opponents to compete. And at that time, women's boxing was looked at more in the light of being a special feature on cards, right? And the media was not very nice many times when they wrote about females who wanted to fight in the sport, right? Yeah, the media wasn't very kind to them, didn't help at all. Now, this did not stop one promoter by the name of Vern Stevenson, who set up a 15-round fight. This was the first ever 15-round fight between women, 1983. He set up a 15-round fight with the same rules that the men also fought under. 3-minute rounds, 8-ounce gloves, and it was optional to wear chest and abdomen protectors in this fight, right? So on October 21st, 1983, Darlene Valdez of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Holly McDaniel made history for women's boxing, competing in the first 15-round fight. And it was also a title fight. And the fight went the distance, resulting in a 15-round unanimous decision for Valdez. And she not only won the fight, but she won over the fans in attendance, who repeatedly shouted out her name over and over, right? And the judges scored the fight 149 to 141, 137 to 133, and 149 to 143, all for Valdez, right? And this fight was 3-minute rounds. Now, the other two were 2-minute rounds, but it was 15 rounds, okay? Now, the following year, on August 24th, 1984, this one was in Pensacola, Florida. Jackie Holly was defending her International Women's Boxing Association world title bout, right, against Dora Weber. And Weber beat Holly for the title by 15-round unanimous decision. And like I said, this fight was 15 2-minute rounds. Okay? Whereas the first ever was 15 3-minute rounds. But there's only been 3 15-round women's fights in history. They wouldn't even let them fight 12, you know? Most women's championship fights now are 10 rounds, 2 minutes, which I don't think is fair. I don't even know the reason. I guess it's safety, I don't know. But yeah, and lastly, the last 15-round fight to ever take place in women's boxing occurred on October 24th, 1986. This fight was also 2-minute rounds. The first one was 3, remember. This fight featured Cora Weber versus Laurie Holt. It was a highly entertaining matchup, with Holt winning by unanimous decision. And see, these women showed they had the stamina and talent to fight 15 entertaining rounds, right? And they wouldn't even let him fight 12 now. It's crazy. Now, these were the only 15-round fights to ever take place in women's boxing. And the first ever women's fight we were talking about between Darlene Vasquez and Holly McDaniel in New Mexico is the only one of the three that was fought at 3-minute rounds, right? The other two, of course, were 2-minute rounds. Okay? Now, I told you today also we're going to have the trilogies that we didn't do yesterday. Okay? Because we ran out of time. Sanctus says, I have Lucia Ridger as the legitimate GOAT. There isn't a current female fighter as skilled or that can beat her. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I heard of Lucia. What weight class was she, Sanctus? I'm not sure what weight class she was, but yeah, she was nice. Lucia. She was also a model, right? Yeah, she was also a model. Now let's talk about some boxers from New Mexico. Yeah, didn't have a long history on it, but let's talk about some boxers from New Mexico. Okay, got like 15 boxers from New Mexico. And first is going to be Bob Foster. Now Bob was born in Texas, but during his career he was in New Mexico. Bob Foster, there's Bob. Is that Joe Frazier he's fighting? Yeah, that's Smoking Joe. Yeah, Bob lost to Smoking Joe and Ali, by the way, yeah. But he fought both of them. But Bob did his best work at light heavyweight. Arguably the best light heavyweight of all time. Arguably, yeah. Bob Foster. Okay, let me get situated here. Yeah, he's arguably the best light heavyweight of all time. Oh, be quiet, stomach. Oh, y'all didn't hear my stomach growling, did you? I ate some oodles of noodles today. That's all I ate so far. But we having baked pork chops, corn on the cob, and strong beans for dinner. You know, strong beans / string beans. Okay, Bob Foster. Here we go. There's Bob. Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where Bob. He was born in Texas, but you know, majority of his life, well, his fighting career was played out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. For Bob. Okay, let's talk about Bob real quick. Okay, just a little brief summary of these fighters. Now, Bob fought as a light heavyweight and heavyweight, but like I said, his best work was done at light heavyweight. Okay, Crush the Legend. How come I never see Crush's name in my chat no more? But Thomas Hill is greeting. Salute, Crush. How are you today? That's odd. T Hill, you see Crush in here? I didn't see his name yesterday neither. But salute Crush the Legend. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Weekends around, he said, between 9 and 9:30 on weekends. Good to see you, bro. I wonder why that is. How come I can't see him? Do I have him blocked or something? I'm going to have to check on that. In blue on your screen. Yeah. That's strange. I didn't see him yesterday. Why is that, AB? Yeah, he's not on my chat anywhere, but yeah. Wow. Right between Sanctus and Albuquerque. Let me check real quick. But salute, Crush. Okay. Yeah, Crush the Legend got a Friday show about the best early morning show on this YouTube boxing. And talks hip hop too. Very versatile guy. Salute, Crush the Legend. Okay, yeah, Bob Foster. That's where we're at. He fought as a light heavyweight and heavyweight, but he did his best work at light heavyweight, right? He won the world light heavyweight title from Dick Tiger in 1968 by a fourth round knockout. The great Dick Tiger. Dick was kind of old then. And he went on to defend the title 14 times against 13 different fighters in total from 1968 to 1974. And like I was telling you, Foster challenged Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali during his career, but he was knocked out by both of them. And the fight with Ali was not for a world title, but for the regional NABF version. Now, Foster was named to Ring's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. He was also named to Ring's list of the 80 best fighters of the last 80 years, ranking coming in at number 55. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the inaugural class of 1990, that old timers category. Now, Bob Foster had a total of 65 fights during his career. He won 60, only lost 5, and he had 46 knockouts. Okay? 46 knockouts out of 60. What is that, like 70-something? Oh, I like to look at knockout rates. 46 out of 60. That's 76.6. Not bad. Right up there close to 80. Bob Foster. Okay. Now, the next boxer from New Mexico is Angelo Leo, active fighter. Angelo Leo, there's Angelo. Still active. Yeah. Yeah, the legendary Thomas Hill is in the joint. Yeah. Thomas Hill been on every panel in the history of panels. I heard they had a podcast up in the International Space Station in space. Thomas Hill been on that panel, okay? The legendary Thomas Hill. He wasn't up there, but he was on the panel. Salute T. Hill. Me and T. Hill one time did a marathon live. We was the only ones in there for like 5 hours. Might have been more than that. I think we started like 11. It was like 4 or 5 the next morning, just talking boxing, man. That's all, just talking boxing. All night. Yep. And I think some other sports too. But Angelo Leo. The Angelo McGraw Leo, right? He's a two-weight class world champion. He's held the IBF featherweight title since August 2024. And he had the WBO junior featherweight title from 2020 to 2021. He lost that to Cool Boy, Stephen Fulton. Now, Leo's record is, I believe it's 25-1 with 12 knockouts. He's known for his left hook, which knocked Luis Alberto Lopez in a 2024 featherweight title fight. Leo's father, Miguel Leo, has coached him throughout his career. Yep, Angelo Leo. Yeah, 25-1 with 12 knockouts. Yeah, Angelo Leo. He had went to Pro Box for a while, and now he's back in the big time, fighting on those big cards. Yeah, and he's the current champion. Okay, he has the IBF featherweight. Does he? 126. Yeah, Angelo Leo. From and Angelo is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? Next is Brian Mendoza, boxer from New Mexico. Brian Mendoza. Remember, he chopped the Towering Inferno down? Timber took the Towering Inferno a long time to hit that mat, too. Remember that one? Yeah. There's Brian on the left. Brian Mendoza. Next boxer from New Mexico. And Jarrell will get on anybody's panel. Jarrell don't have no fear. Okay. Jarrell will hit that link in a minute and talk that boxing with the best of them. Okay. Brian Mendoza from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay. Now Mendoza, he has held both the WBC interim light junior middleweight and super welterweight world titles. Because see, they go by whichever sanctioning body, what they call it, okay? So, like a certain sanctioning body will say super welterweight, then another one will say junior middleweight. I don't know which is which, but I'll call them all junior middleweight. And Mendoza had the WBC, right? Junior middleweight and super welterweight is the same thing, right? 154. Now, Mendoza has overcome challenges, including fighting after the main event and being counted out when things go wrong. Mendoza has fought after Tim Tszyu in Minneapolis and faced Benjamin Whitaker after the main event. He defeated Sebastian Fundora with a 7th round knockout in Carson, California. Yeah, we remember that one. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, Mendoza currently has a record of 22 wins, 4 losses, 16 knockouts for Brian Mendoza. Not too bad. 24 wins, 22 wins, 16 knockouts. I'm going to leave these knockout rates alone after this. That's 72. Not bad. 7 out of 10. Sanctus says, the insane thing is after Mendoza planked Fundora like a frozen tuna, Fundora is allowed to fight for the WBA title in his next fight. Wasn't that crazy, Sanctus? How in the world do you get knocked out and then fight for a title your next fight? Shouldn't it have been Mendoza? Your boxing is crazy, man. I remember that. Yeah, I talked about that in depth when that happened, Sanctus. That was crazy. The man got knocked out and fought for a title in his very next fight. That's crazy. I don't understand. I never will understand that. But it happened. It sure happened. Yeah. Next is Austin Trout. Yeah, he's from New Mexico. Austin Trout. Yeah. He's fighting bare knuckles right now. I just saw him recently in a bare knuckles fight. Mm-hmm. He's a champion over there. Their weight classes go a little different, but I think it's welterweight. But the poundage is a little different. Yeah, but Austin is a champion in bare knuckles. Mm-hmm. But he's from New Mexico. Yeah, he sure is. Austin Trout. Austin Dwayne Trout, right? He's a professional boxer and bare knuckles fighter. He's from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Okay, Las Cruces. These are boxers from New Mexico. Right? And he held the World Boxing Association junior middleweight title from 2011 to 2013. He had a 2-year reign. And he had the middleweight title. He won in 2024, he won the bare knuckles fighting championship welterweight title. Beyond fighting, Trout is a self-described girl dad and history student with a passion for reading and comic books. He uses his platform to advocate for those who are unheard. Austin Trout. Yep, yeah. Bare knuckles champion right now. Next is Johnny Tapia. Johnny's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yep, Johnny Tapia. Know y'all heard of Johnny. Pretty good fighter from down there. And also, Skywalker Boxeo from the winning team is from New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Our own Skywalker Boxeo. So what's that? I do that all the time, Define Arnie. I always write in caps. And every live I'm in. That makes the content creator notice it. My comments always get read because they're always in caps. Mm-hmm. Okay, Johnny Tapia is next. Fighters from New Mexico. Okay, Johnny Tapia. I was just looking at something. I got my notes all marked up. It was another fighter that, you got to look at from a different place. But I lost track of, there he is right there. Let me circle it. I had lost track of where it was at, but I got it. Now, Johnny Tapia. John Lee Anthony Tapia. He was a 5-time world champion and member of both the Nevada and International Boxing Halls of Fame. He competed from 1988 to 2011, 23-year career, longevity. He won multiple world championships across 3 weight classes. In 1997, he defeated his hometown rival, Danny Romero. Danny's on this list too, boxer from New Mexico. But I lost my spot. In 1997, he defeated his hometown rival, Danny Romero, in a 12-round fight to win the IBF belt. Tapia was a well-known boxer in the 1990s and early 2000s. Johnny Tapia. Just little brief summaries. Boxers from New Mexico. And Johnny, did it give you Austin Trout's current record? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Austin Trout was 37 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. I had the wrong record. I'm sorry. Now, Johnny Tapia, I was looking at somebody else. I think I gave you Austin. But Austin's record is 37 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. Johnny Tapia. Johnny had, in his career, 66 fights. He won 59. He lost 5, and he had 2 draws, okay? 30 by way of knockouts. Yeah, that's 66. He had 30 of them came by way of knockout. Johnny Tapia from Las Cruces, New Mexico. And next is Danny Romero. You're just talking about Johnny beating Danny is next on the list. I believe Danny is still active, right? Yeah, DeFron Arnie says Tapia is impossible to forget. Yeah, we're going to get some link time too. We're going to do the trilogies that we didn't get to do yesterday, remember? We was doing all the best ever since it was in the year, beginning of the year. And what did we do? Fighters, fights, best knockouts, trainers, and we didn't get trilogies in. We're going to get them in today. But right now, Danny Romero. Boxers from New Mexico. Danny Romero. Okay. Now, Danny Romero. Okay, here we go. There's Danny. Did I put there's Danny on the screen too? Oh, man, I don't know what I did. Let me get back out here where I was at. There we go. Now, Danny is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was born in Spain, but he grew up and fought out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. Salute, Bruce Gas. How are you today, bro? Always good to see Bruce Gas in here. Big time boxing historian. That's where I go to get my boxing history. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute. Okay, New Mexico today, Bruce. We're talking about some boxers from New Mexico right now. Danny Romero. Like I say, he was born in Spain, but he grew up and fought out of New Mexico. Daniel Ramirez Romero. That was a tongue twister. Daniel Ramirez Romero. Don't say that fast. Now, he's known professionally as Danny Romero, right? Now, he's a Spanish singer. Oh, excuse me. I got the wrong Danny. Yes, no, I don't. I think I got the wrong Danny Romero. I want the boxer. I got some singer. Does he also sing? Let me get the right one up here for y'all. There you go. Yeah, I had the wrong one. This is Danny Gregorio Romero. I had some singer, composer, writer. Daniel Gregorio Danny Romero Jr. He's a former professional boxer who competed between 1992 and 2006. Right? He's a world champion in 2 weight classes, having held the IBF flyweight title from 1995 to 1996 and the IBF junior bantamweight title from 1996 to 1997. He is born in Spain from Albuquerque. Grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Danny had a total of 52 fights in his career. He won 45, lost 5, had 2 draws. And he had 38 knockouts. That's not too bad at all. 38 knockouts out of 45 wins. Look what I'm doing. 84%. 84% for Danny Romero. Boxers from New Mexico. Holly Holm. Know y'all heard of Holly. Holly Holm. She was the one that beat, what was the lady's name? She was bad in the MMA. Holly took her down, remember? Somebody put it in there. I know y'all know who I'm talking about. I got a brain lock right now. I can't think of her. Holly knocked her out. Holly Holm in the UFC. I can't remember the lady's name that she beat. Holly Renee Holm. Now, Holly is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay? She's a former UFC women's bantamweight champion and American mixed martial artist. She was born on October 17th, 1981, Albuquerque, New Mexico. She fights out of the same city. Her fighting nickname is the Preacher's Daughter, right? As her father is a pastor. And before entering MMA in 2011, Holm was a professional boxer and kickboxer and a multiple-time boxing world champion. She defended her titles 18 times across 3 weight classes. Holly Holm. And her record in boxing was Holly had a total of in boxing, got it written down right here. She had a total of 35 fights. She won 33, lost 2, and Holly had 39 knockouts. That is not bad for 9 knockouts. No, she had 33 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, and 9 knockouts. I'm ready to say 39 knockouts for a woman. And how she had 39 knockouts with 33 wins? She had 9 knockouts. Holly Holm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I didn't even put Holly up there. I'm sorry. There's Holly. Right there. There's Holly. Yeah. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Next fighter is, I better pick it up. We got to get these trilogies in today. Chris Linson Jr. If we don't, we just don't. We're going to definitely get some link time. There's Chris on the right. Chris Linson Jr. is next. Okay. Chris Linson Jr. Now, Chris Linson Jr. is from Santa Fe, New Mexico, okay? He was inducted into the New Mexico Boxing Hall of Fame. And he's opened Mayweather Boxing and Fitness to give back to the community. No, that was something else. But Chris Linson is from Santa Fe, New Mexico, okay? And he's in the New Mexico Boxing Hall of Fame. Chris Linson Jr. Okay, bear with me for one moment. Appreciate everybody coming by today, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Cass Sports the Box Historian, bringing you all of that boxing history. See if I can find something else on Chris Linson Jr. Then we're going to move on. Because I got a couple more boxers from New Mexico. And don't forget tomorrow, we're always in the week up with the profile. And this week it's the life and career of Carmen Basilio, one of those great 1950s middleweights I'm always ranting and raving about. 50s was the best decade for middleweights, in my opinion. Yeah. They had some bad boys back then. Now, Sugar Ray Robinson had 1 loss in the 40s at welterweight, But when they went up to middleweight, them L's started piling up in those 50s against those guys. Lost to Randolph Turpin. Carmen Basilio beat him. A few of them. Jake beat him at welterweight. Gene Former. That's him and Gene Former on the opening one of the fights I show. Yeah. So Carmen Basilio is tomorrow. We're going to talk about him and Sugar Ray had a couple of fights. Yep. Okay, the next fighter is Edward Vigil, boxer from New Mexico. Couldn't find a picture of Edward. There's Edward. Right? Just to keep track of where I'm at. Now, Edward is from Roswell, New Mexico. And he's in the New Mexico Boxing Hall of Fame, right? He was won multiple junior Olympics in New Mexico. And 2 gold medals, right? In the junior Olympics. I don't think he ever turned into a professional boxer. But he was a great amateur boxer, Edward Vigil. Jackie Chavez is next. Jackie Chavez. Yeah, I got some fire. I got 10 of the best trilogies of all time. Was supposed to have been yesterday, but we didn't get them in. Try to get them in today. They are good too. But yeah, I kind of figured we wasn't going to, have enough time yesterday. Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. Okay. Now, Jackie Chavez, female fighter. She's from, Jackie is from Albuquerque. There's Jackie. That's Jackie on the right. Now, Jackie Chavez, right? She was a professional boxer. Super Bantamweight division. She was the IFBA World Super Bantamweight champion and considered by many to be one of women's boxing's future stars. As far as it is known, she has no relation with Mexican boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez, okay? No relation to Julio Cesar. I think Jackie is still currently active. Let me see. No, she's not still currently active. But she had a total of 13 fights in her career. She won 9, lost 3. No, she won 9, lost 4. Had 3 by knockout. Career began in 2001. So no, she's not still active. Next is Canuto Robidoux from Tyrone, New Mexico. Now he went blind from a fight. Canuto did. Let me see if I can. I had a time finding him earlier. Let me see if I can get him to come up. Because this was very interesting. There's Canuto right there. His picture kind of light. That's him on the left right there. He turned into a trainer too after his career from Tyrone, New Mexico. Yeah. O-B-L-E. Anybody ever heard of him? I hadn't before yesterday. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Got him. I got him. I had a hard time finding him earlier. Now, Canuto Robidoux, better known as Cantu TNT Robidoux, he was a Mexican-American professional boxer and trainer and manager. He was scheduled to face bantamweight champion Panama Al Brown in late 1932, but during a tune-up fight, he was left legally blind in both eyes, right? Yep, left legally blind in both eyes. And yeah, that was the other one, right? Known as TNT Robidoux, right? And like I said, he was scheduled to face world bantamweight champion Panama Al Brown in late 1932, but during a tune-up fight was left blind in both eyes. After retiring from boxing for a few years, Robidoux became best known as being the only licensed blind boxing trainer in the history of the sport, right? He trained both amateur and professional fighters. by what he called his sense of touch technique. Yep, sense of touch technique. Only legally licensed, legally blind trainer. During his career, he had a total of 44 fights. He won 29, lost 10, had 5 draws, and he had 9 by way of knockout. Okay? And I believe one more. Brenda and Canitos from Tyrone, New Mexico. Brenda Burnside is the last one. This is the best picture I could find of her. That's Brenda on the right. Okay? Brenda Burnside. Then we're going to talk about these trilogies and get a little link time too. We're going to get some link time if I have to cut the trilogy short. But these some pretty good, some of the best trilogies of all time. You know, Gotti Ward is in there. It will be almost illegal to do a best trilogies list and don't put Gotti Ward on it. You know, that would be almost against the law, you know, to do that. That's required. Those two. I forgot which one told the other, but it was like fighting myself, he said. He said, now I know what it's like to fight my twin or fight myself, you know. Yeah, Brenda Burnside. Let's get her in, and then we're going to go to the trilogies. And Brenda is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yep, from Albuquerque. She was a former women's boxing journeywoman. You know how to say journeyman? She was a journeywoman. BBO Boxing TV in the building. What's up, BBO? What's happening? And you know what, Sanctus? I never knew that was why they called her that until this morning, the preacher's daughter, because her father was a preacher. I thought that was just a nickname, you know. A nickname that I didn't know she was really a preacher's daughter. I sure didn't. I just found that out this morning. But salute BBO Boxing TV. Good to see you, bro. Boxing in the States. New Mexico. And I'm always hitting something. Big hands. Okay, I got Brenda back. Yeah, she was a former women's boxing, not journeyman, journeywoman. Despite being given such titles by boxing fans and critics, she was well known in the boxing world for the quality of opposition she faced. And she contended for a world title once. She fought in the super flyweight division. And her record from Albuquerque, but Brenda's record was 7. She had a total of 20 fights altogether. 7 wins, 11 losses, 2 draws, 4 knockouts. Okay. But she had one of them Oscar-type resumes, okay? So you can excuse all those losses because she had an Oscar-type resume. She fought all the big names during her career. And she beat 7. So that ain't too bad. Okay, let's get the trilogies going. I don't know what happened. It's supposed to come in. There we go. Okay, let's get these trilogies going. Okay? I got 10 of the greatest trilogies of all time, which we didn't get in yesterday, so we're going to get them in today. This is very interesting. You've been here all this time, you might as well stick around for the best ever boxing trilogies, right? Why leave now? Got BVO in here. It must be something good going on. You know? BVO gets some great interviews over there on his channel. 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. With the gang. D Free, T Hill, Crush the Legend, and Prize Fighter. Quite a gang they got over there doing the boxing talk Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. BVO Boxing TV. Check them out. Okay, let's talk about these trilogies. Okay. Now, the first one, of course, is going to be 10 of the best ever boxing trilogies. Now, it takes more than one fight to settle certain rivalries. Sometimes even two doesn't do it, right? Sometimes two isn't enough. A trilogy often comes to fruition through two fighters being unable to fully assert their dominance over the other, making for a third battle to prove their superiority, right? It's got to be 1-1 there. Now, if it's not results that have paved the way for a rubber match, then controversial endings or questionable decisions also lead to a deciding third clash, okay? Now let's talk about them. How are they first, man? Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. I'm all out of whack. I gotta get my pictures right, man. Not yet. I done hit end stream. It's a good thing it says not yet, because we would have been done. Okay, first one is Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Yeah, I hit end stream, but it always asks you not yet. I don't think so, T. Hill. Sanctus. Lucia Richker is not still active, is she? No, I don't think so. Okay. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. Just a little brief talk about him. Now, there's no denying the greatest rivalry in boxing made for the best trilogy the sport has ever witnessed. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier went toe-to-toe for 3 monumental showdowns in their careers, with their high-profile frictions transcending the sport and leaving a legacy. It was Frazier who prevailed in the 1971 Fight of the Century epic fight, before Ali rallied back to win both the rematch and the iconic Thriller in Manila. And the first fight was so iconic. On the 30-year anniversary, the two daughters fought, right? Now that's iconic. Ali Frazier 4. Later, Ali versus Jackie Frazier lied, with Ali winning Ali Frazier 4. Okay, the next one, of course. This one also, if you don't put this on there, it should be almost illegal. This next one too. Marco Antonio Barrera versus Eric Morales. Yeah, that's mandatory. T. Hill says, all right, yeah, thank you, Sanctus. I didn't think she was still active. T. Hill says, would have loved to see the Richker Ali fight, so we were going to get it for a smug minute too. T. Hill, yeah. T. Hill and J. Hardcore got it. I don't know what language that is. T. Hill says, gonna get it for smug minute 2. That's MUV minute 2. Okay. All right, Marco Antonio Barrera versus Eric Morales. Yeah, that would be almost illegal not to have, if you're talking trilogies, to not have them two on there also. Now, as far as bitter feuds go, in and out of the ring, Marco Antonio Barrera versus Eric Morales cannot be topped. The two Mexican legends came from different upbringings in their native country, which was a factor in their disdain for each other. Yeah, these two guys really didn't like each other. And they had 3 fights across 2000, 2002, and 2004. But, after fighting 3 times, you got to start respecting each other. You know what I mean? Morales claimed the bragging rights in their first encounter, which is still regarded as one of the greatest fights of all time. Remember, we talked about that yesterday when we was talking about the best fights of all time. Barrera then bounced back to win the rematch and ended their rivalry with a trilogy victory too. Yeah, Barrera took 2 out of 3. There's another one. They all are big. Any one of these not on the best trilogies list would almost be illegal, man. Here's the next one. Holyfield and Bo. We got Holyfield covered up a little bit. We don't need that anymore. Let me get that out of here. I'm up there around in stream again. On second thought, I might as well leave it. No, I got it. Get that out of here. We don't need that anymore. Hiding people's faces and stuff. There we go. I'd have hit end stream twice, but it says not yet. So if they only had it up there once, we would be over for today. Okay. Holyfield Bo. Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield. The next one. Between 1992 In 1995, Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield engaged in a famous three-fight rivalry. This trilogy produced many explosive moments, but the rematch is remembered mainly for the Fan Man incident, which saw an intruder halt the fight for 21 minutes after landing on the ring apron with a propeller-operated parachute. But he got his butt whipped because he landed on the apron, but some of the strings to it landed right in Riddick Bowe's entourage's lap. And they pulled him over there and beat his butt, man. Yeah. I saw that. The ropes from his parachute thing landed right over there in the middle of Riddick Bowe's entourage, man. And they snatched him right into the audience. Fan Man got the worst beating that night. But I think it really did affect Bowe the most because his wife fainted. She was pregnant. She had to be taken to the hospital, and he saw all this go down, man. And then he had to finish the fight. So, yeah, that's the only one Evander won. Yeah. But Bowe came out on top in the thrilling first fight between the two heavyweight rivals, while Holyfield edged the controversial rematch before being stopped in the rubber match. The only stoppage was the third one. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Okay. Sanctus says, Thomas, man, you're right. Christy Martin blatantly ducked Lucia Ritzker back then. I think Layla did too. Just not in the interview like Christy Martin did. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's move on now. Here's Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. Told you all of these are mandatory on the best trilogies list. Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. Yeah, we getting close to link time too. Ask any boxing fan to name the best fight ever, and many will immediately say Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. The two men went to war across 30 incredible rounds in 2002 and 2003, with their all-action trilogy seeing them become forever linked. Ward had his hand held up after the enthralling maiden fight, but was outdone in the following two meetings. The initial clash set the standard for which all subsequent fights have been judged for drama and excitement. The intensity of their fights forced a level of respect between Gatti and Ward as they became friends when the punching stopped. Ward even trained his rival later in life and was a prominent figure at Gatti's funeral following a mysterious 2009 death and posthumously Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Yeah, Ward was right there at the funeral and the Hall of Fame ceremony. Here's another one. I told people to stick around. Humberto Gonzalez versus Michael Carvajal. Yeah, that's right, T.O. said that's the reason these fights need to happen, so nobody gotta wear the duck label. And we can see how things play out. And I'm gonna add for ourselves, T.O. How things play out for ourselves. That's right. That is a great point. That's why they need to happen. The fight between Humberto Gonzalez and Michael Carvajal in 2003 became the first light flyweight clash to ever make $1 million and headline a pay-per-view. Both men produced an instant classic, which was repeated the following year. It was Carvajal who secured rematch and trilogy victories after Gonzalez won their first matchup. Okay, then we go back a ways, but no less great than these other ones. Tony Zale and Rocky Graciano. That's Zale on the left, Graciano on the right. Okay, Tony Zale versus Rocky Graciano. Another great one. Yeah. Yeah, Gonzalez was like an Energizer Bunny Sanctus. That guy, he was something, Gonzalez was. Tony Zale versus Rocky Graciano. The middleweight sluggers, Tony Zale and Rocky Graciano, collided in 3 fights in 3 consecutive years in 1946, 1947, 1948. I think 2 of them was Fight of the Year. Now, all 3 of their meetings ended in knockouts, with Man of Steel Zale ultimately running out the rivalry as a 2-1 series winner. Now, the 2 warriors shared 9 rounds full of blood, knockdowns, and brutal stoppages, which remain among the most memorable among boxing historians, despite the lack of remaining video footage. Yeah, I think 2 of those fights were Fight of the Year. I don't know which 2 it was, but yeah. There's another one, go back a ways. 2 legends, Barney Ross and Jimmy McLaurin. That's Ross on the left, McLaurin on the right. Yeah, Ross on the left, McLaurin on the right. Okay. Another old-time classic rivalry, which produced one of boxing's best ever trilogies, starring all-time greats Barney Ross and Jimmy McLaurin. Ross jumped up divisions to dethrone welterweight champion McLaurin in 1934, but it was the latter Irishman who gained revenge in their return fight later that same year, both held at Madison Square Garden. 3-division ruler Ross battled to a trilogy triumph over 15 rounds, with both men later being deservingly inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame for their career success. In that inaugural year, 1990, into that old timers category. Okay, and we got 2 more. Then we're gonna drop it. We're gonna get like 20 minutes of link, almost the whole 30 of link time. But link time is 3:30. We're gonna be like 5 minutes late. We get it in about 3:35. Emil Griffith versus Benny Parrott. And you know what happened in the last fight of this trilogy? Tragedy struck. Now, the 3-fight series between Emil Griffith and Benny Parrott are an important part of boxing history, but for tragic circumstances. Undoubtedly, the most saddening of the sports trilogies, Griffith earned the stoppage victory in the first before Parrott edged the decision in the rematch. Tragedy then struck after the 3rd meeting. Griffith, who would later come out as bisexual, was enraged by apparent homophobic weigh-in taunts from Parrott in the build-up. That set the tone of the trilogy fight as Griffith unloaded an onslaught on Parrott over 12 rounds before the finish came. The badly beaten fighter died in hospital 10 days later from injuries sustained. And they said Parrott was out on his feet and Griffith was still beating on him from that slur Parrott threw at him. If he hadn't have said that, he probably would have let up. And the referee didn't get there in time, so yeah, it was bad, man. Oh, we got 2 more. I lied. This is the next to the last one. Ingemar Johansson and Floyd Patterson. Another good one. Okay, Chiquita Gonzalez. Yeah. Oh, I read that. Yeah, the Energizer Bunny. He sure was, Sanctus. T. Hill says, plus it had a whole lot of intrigue built up with Lucia being coined the female Tyson and Layla being dubbed. She be stinging after her pops. Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali. Yeah, that would have been a great style matchup there, but we never got it. Yeah, that would have been. Ingemar Johansson versus Floyd Patterson. Now, in 1959, Floyd Patterson was floored an incredible 7 times in 3 rounds on his way to losing his world heavyweight title to Ingemar Johansson at New York's Yankee Stadium. Now, the dethroned champion remarkably gained redemption in the 2nd and 3rd fights, winning both by knockout to reclaim, then defend his heavyweight crown. Yeah, this is the last one. Last but certainly not least. This one is certainly not least. Where's my picture? Did I forget it? Oh man, let me go down some. Oh my goodness. I forgot the picture. Wait a minute. I know I put it in here, but I don't know where. There we go. This is the final one. It's out of place. Because I had it in yesterday and I left all of them and I accidentally erased this one, but I got it back. Fury Wilder 3. There it is. Will I get in trouble for that ESPN Fox stuff on it? I don't care. They already demonetized me, so what else can they do? I don't know. But Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I was monetized for 3 weeks and then they snatched it back. But they can keep it. I don't need it. I just got out here to talk boxing, that's all. Anyway. Now, childweight heavyweights Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder came together 3 times from 2018 to 2021 to create a great modern-day rivalry. This is the most modern one on here, too. Fury looked to have done more than enough on his return to the top level in the first fight with Wilder, despite a dramatic 12th round knockdown, but it ultimately ended in a controversial draw. Did they mean Wilder looked to have done enough? But it ended a controversial draw. Either way, this set up a rematch over a year later, which Fury made sure of. He had a devastating knockout over Wilder. Then he followed it up in the third fight with an even more dominant stop victory in the trilogy. The other notable trilogies: Manny Pacquiao versus Eric Morales, Muhammad Ali versus Ken Norton, Sugar Ray Leonard, this is honorable mentions here, versus Roberto Duran, Joe Gans versus Bartley Nelson, Roberto Duran versus Esteban de Jesus. Okay, yeah. And you know, Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez, I bet you Manny wish he'd have stopped at a trilogy in that one. Manny went one fight too far because that last one was. Okay, let me get the link in for my people. Okay, let me get the link in. I told you we're gonna get about 20 minutes, didn't I? Okay, so I'll have it in by 20 I think. I've been doing good on the link lately. T-Hill haven't said bad link in a long time. Now watch me mess up. Okay, copy. Let me see. Okay, I gotta be quiet for a minute. Me and this technology, man, we are not friends. I like technology. Technology don't like me. Okay, but I'm gonna get this link the first time. Okay, I'm almost finished. Okay, screen guard. Okay, what else I gotta do now? Oh my goodness. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I had. Oh, shoot. Here we go. Well, I thought I had messed up, but I didn't. The link is for everybody, man. Anybody and everybody. You don't have to have JBT behind your name. Anybody can hit this link and come up and chop it up or chop it down. Like I always say, tell me how much you like the show or tell me how much you hate it. And you know, I'm not going to cry until after 4. I'm not going to see a grown man cry. I'll do that on my own time, not on y'all time. Just double checking everything. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to do all that. Okay. And look at that. With 2 minutes to spare, I said 20 up, and there it is at 3:38. Okay. Damn, I copied it again. But it's in there. Sanctus said older timers had mad rivalry rematch. Yes, they did. You know, everybody wanted the rematch back then. The loser wanted the rematch to get revenge, and the winner wanted the rematch just to prove it that they could do it again. It wasn't no fluke. Yeah, Sanctus, they had mad rematches back in the day. Always had a rematch, and it was immediately. It wasn't no 2 years later. It was your next fight. You know, it was your next fight right back in there with them. Yes, it was. That was the thing. Back in the old days, man. Everybody had rematches. Okay. And yeah, we got tomorrow is the life and career of Carmen Basilio. And there's Define Arnie One. What is happening, Define Arnie One? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me good?
Yeah. Oh, you are loud and clear. You ain't no 500 pounds. Somebody said you was 500 pounds the other day. Define Arnie One.
What?
Remember?
I'm not even half that, I think.
I was just messing with you. Yeah. Well, how you doing though? How's your Happy New Year? As your New Year
Hey,
starting off good.
oh yeah, same to you, brother. I got
I
some good
appreciate
news. It's not for sure, but Jay was saying that I might get to cover the Berlanga and Rodrigo Rosado fight.
Where's that at? Is that in Puerto Rico?
Apparently, I mean, I was looking it up, and I don't think it's official yet.
Okay,
I
man.
didn't see anywhere like it's official for whatever date. I didn't see that yet, so we'll
Okay.
see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Jarrell, what's up, Jarrell? Well, that'd be good. You did a good job on that last one, you know.
What's
Say it
up
again,
with
Jarrell.
y'all? Harmony, peace, and blessings, man.
Yeah, Happy New
T
Year.
Hill get here, we gonna be looking like the four kings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gonna be like Sugar with that with the
Yeah.
devastating tummy.
You got a
Right with the
fire panel family going on here. You're the four kings of the panels. That's right. Yeah. You did a good job on that last one, Define Arnie. The last one down there. The fight you
I
did.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah,
Bro, I was so freaking nervous, bro.
in shape for real. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Great.
What are you exercising, walking, Define Arnie?
Yeah, I'm in
Yes. I do too, yeah.
in the park here.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure you are. I don't know. I'm gonna call him late or something. I'm gonna show that to you right now. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice if they get that. They just in talks now. It's not official yet, right? You said. Okay, there's our other brother just coming. I guess it's T Hill. I gotta find the cursor so I can let him know. There's somebody down there. Oh yeah, that is T Hill. Somebody dropped off.
He got
dropped off. What's up, T Hill?
What's good with you?
Nothing, just another day talking this boxing game. That's all.
Another day and another year, bro.
That's right.
Talking that boxing game, dog. That's what we call progression, baby.
Another
We're gonna
year.
make it to the next one. So yeah, man, it was good talk too. Good talk.
Appreciate it. Hey, when is that Apataya fight? It's not this weekend, is it?
I want to say it's next week, but let me check. Let's check it right now and make sure.
I'm taking next weekend too. Mm-hmm. And the monster got a fight this month too. I think it's this month. Yeah. I guess the guy from England. I can't think of his name right now. Sam something from England. Oh man, what is his name? Pretty good fighter, but I think the monster will probably stop him. Yeah. Is it Sam Goodman? Yeah, I believe it is Sam Goodman.
It's Goodman. Yeah, Goodman. And it is the 8th, so it's next Saturday for sure.
Next Saturday. I thought Apataya was first before Monster. No, he must be after.
Well, I know Monster got pushed back. I don't know how far back he got pushed, but I know he got pushed back. I do think that Apataya fight has a chance to be a very explosive one, man. Because my man Nidia, whatever his name is, he's pretty rugged.
The guy he's going up against.
Yeah.
He's a late replacement, right?
Oh man, we got a lake out there, baby boy. We got the lake.
He said he's at the park.
Okay. Shoot, that's what I'm talking about.
Background, yeah.
Oh man, blessed to see another one, man. I can't complain. I see blue skies, clouds, and ponds in the background, dog. A lot of greenery.
No, if he was up here, it's cold out there up here today, man. Woo.
Oh, where you at?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that time though, Cash. You over there where the weather's. You get to see different. You get to see different. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Arnie just got a hoodie on out there. Decent, you know what I mean, T Hill?
Yeah,
where you at? What is it, like 80, 85?
Man, bro, it's like 86 right now.
Ooh, I was almost right on the button. 86. Yeah. Man. Yeah, but
Apataya is fighting David Nika.
When is that, Define Arnie?
The 8th, I think, or the 9th.
Oh, they both him and Monster on the same day? Oh, Monster got pushed back though, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
The Sam Goodman thing.
Yeah. Goodman ain't bad, but no, I don't know if he can deal with Monster.
How old is Monster?
Oh,
I
31?
gotta. You know who I want to see now? Yeah, with Ahmad Aliyev, bro.
Who?
Ahmad Aliyev.
Oh, okay.
MJ.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? You know that fight you and Ant was talking about, T Hill? They talking about that now, Monster and Nakatani. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I would love
Oh,
to see that
Junto.
fight. I would love to see
Yeah.
that.
They talking about that fight, man. Yeah.
Well, I know that he got a brother, so I don't know if it's
Oh, it's Monster.
his brother, but if it's Monster, I would really, really love that fight.
They right at like the beginning of talks. The Monster got to
I like that fight.
Yeah.
I like any fight for him at Well, you know, he's within those classes, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think he's 5'7". I know people say he's 5'5", but he looks taller than a lot of people that's supposed to be like 5'6" or 5'7".
When you see him in the ring, those guys, yeah, he does look taller.
He don't look like he's small at all. So, and that boy got some serious calves, bro. Serious calves, but
you got me a Pacquiao a little with them calves. Remember?
Hey, real talk. Real talk. But I would love to see him fight a lot of people at 26, to tell you the truth, man. He got some people that he can fight up there too. But Juntao and MJ, those two fights I wouldn't mind seeing.
Because I think still at 118, right?
Yeah, but they all like a couple of pounds away from one another.
Down there, it would be no problem whatsoever. He probably would be basically rehydrating to the same weight from 122 that he goes to for 118, you know? Pretty much. Okay. We got B3.
B3. I thought he was at 135 though.
Who's that?
Salute to the guys. What's good, Kev?
I didn't even know you was in the building, bro.
Nah, I just hopped in. Really, I just wanted to say, I don't think that.
To you, first of all,
happy New Year, Cass.
Okay, that
Divine Irony, T Hill, my boy Ja.
Yeah.
But no, I was just saying that I don't think they're gonna do the Junto versus Inoue fight.
No.
I know a lot of people was looking forward to it. Well, not this year, because I know they said the plans wasn't to do it for this year. Because I mean, they know Junto will possibly hurt Inoue.
Yeah.
And to be fully no, I mean that's just real. Because a fight is a fight. People gotta understand. They look at these guys as invincible, but once you in there with somebody that's punching on you, or they can slip and counter you, then it's a different ball game. And they don't want to mess that Monster money up. That's Monster making good money for them.
He the biggest draw. He the biggest draw over there.
They don't want to mess it up just yet.
So to put it in perspective, man, like Monster is the Tank Canelo over there. Really, he's the Canelo over there.
Hey, let me say this, T Hill, because it's this kid, and I know you probably seen him before. His name is Tenshin Nasukawa.
Goodness gracious!
Now I'm gonna say this: his skills are a little raw. He's the kid that Mayweather had fought. He was a former kickboxer, so they did an exhibition.
Okay, yeah.
But now he's a pro boxer, and he's good. But what I'm hearing is he's really a big star over there. You know, they got so many people, but they say the Tension kid is a huge star. He's gonna be fighting Jason Maloney on the Junto card.
ATB3, how many fights does Tension have?
He only has 5 fights. That's crazy, man.
Maloney? Wow.
Yes.
Maloney's a vet, man.
And that's it's gonna be a good fight. Maloney might get him. Like, I like Maloney. And this is Jason too. Andrew Maloney's good. He's tough, but Jason has a little bit more skill. He's a little bit more dynamic. So I think that's a step up for him. I think that's a huge step up,
man.
Yeah, that's the big step.
Wow. That's why I actually the fights when you said
the dude is a draw. He's a big time draw.
You know what I noticed about the Japanese fighters? I've been following them over the last year or so. They put them, they most of them in smaller weight classes. But what they do is they do put them in tough early in like their first like 10 to 12 fights. They will be put in tough because over there, if you take a loss They understand. They want to understand what your level is.
Right.
And they also know that they'll bring you back. You know.
Yeah,
how
they're
it
not
goes.
wrapped up in that like these fighters over here is, man.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah,
Because
but like you said though, that your boy
Monster.
in a way working with is like it's
Yeah.
international, so
People
they don't
got
want to
deep
mess up his
real with
steam.
it, T-Hill.
Yeah, they
oh
don't want to
no,
mess up
absolutely.
his steam because he is a big draw. He can bring money to the country.
He's being mentioned with Tank.
Mm-hmm.
So even in that being the sentiment, like you see what happened with Devin, once you take a L, the luster is gone.
Yeah, that fight is done if he take a L. Yeah.
No, but that's in the West more than anything, I think, because Ngannou's stock hasn't fallen too much in MMA. He just won. So, in my opinion, that's the distinction I would make there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, MMA, it's because you're getting fights often as well, too, man. Like nowadays, you ain't getting but a couple of fights, and
can I piggyback on that, T Hill?
Go ahead.
I agree with Divine Irony. I think here's the situation. In the end with MMA, with UFC, 9 times out of 10, they're fighting somebody that's on their level. Like the people, like the public know there's an even fight.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you take a L, the matchups are still good. So the fans have interest. In the US, it's considered a lot of in boxing, it's considered a lot of cherry picking. So I think that's the separation. That's why it's more leniency in taking a loss in the MMA. Now, if you take a loss in boxing, it's tough right now, but in a sense, like with a Devin Haney, the people just want to see him back. So he showed heart. The people know what happened in the fight, but now they still want to see him back. So you see what I'm saying? You don't really. It's a myth. I think it's a misnomer that these guys. Well, they may lose a little value when they take a loss, but if you taking tough fights, the people still want to see you.
Yo, I agree with what you say, but let me tell you the boxer's reality. I think that my man put it best. My man put it best yesterday in the interview. Keith Cologne. He said from a boxer's perspective, he don't agree with it, but people know that around here, like you said, given the fact that we are so infrequent and we are matching up, we're going through people that are matching us up. We're not getting fights that people would value as even or 50-50. So when you take a loss, it's a chance that, the promoter gonna value you differently. Or if you don't sell, you don't get a bigger piece of the pie that you're probably looking forward to. So you use the leverage that way. And I'm glad he said it, because a lot of times when we say it, people try to use it as, oh man, we're trying to make justification for something. And it's not the case. It's just what it is, unfortunately. Because back in the days, man, they fought often, and because they fought often and they had to feed their families off of their fights. You got much, much more evenly matched competition because they were all out there trying to get it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real talk.
Man, B3, Define Irony, T Hell, you guys cooking with grease.
Oh man.
Yo, I just want to add one more thing to the point that you guys just made, because I think it's a fantastic point with the MMA, what B3 said about the matchmaking and so on and so forth. The other element to it is this: when it comes to promotion in boxing, it seems like the promoters, they prioritize the individual talents above the overall banner. See, like with UFC is the product. It's not all about John Jones. It's not all about Conor McGregor. Yeah, they got their guys who are standouts who they have popularity, but UFC itself is the business. With boxing,
it used to be that way, and then it became what you said. Just to say that real quick. It was about Conor McGregor, Chuck Liddell, but then with the Reebok deal and all that BS, it became about the UFC. So you're absolutely right. I just want to say that.
No, but even in the growth of the UFC, because I'm reading this book right now called what the hell is it called? Something about Rebels, and it has to do with social media and how to use that. And this lady named Amy Jo Martin, she was the one who actually helped Dana White transition into the social media space. And then they were doing a whole bunch of little cool things. Like he would say, yo, I'm over here at such and such location. And he would actually meet up with fans. They did a lot of little cool things like that to captivate the public's interest. But with boxing, it's like, it's about whoever the star is. We don't really know what level this guy really is on. So as fans, we start to equate notoriety. You know, notoriety is a qualifier for quality. So it's like, if we don't know you, you a bum. But meanwhile, the guy, he actually might be pretty good.
Yep.
He just hasn't had the same push, the same ties. So to B3's point, it's like when you see a guy in there with somebody that you're not familiar with, and you feel like this guy is supposed to walk over him because everything he's been billed to be. You seeing him knocking people out in the damn montage and the highlight reel, and then you don't see nothing on the other guy. You're assuming that it's supposed to be this one-sided thing. But the other guy, he got skills too. We just don't know him. But in the UFC, it's always like UFC and then whatever the number of the fight is, like UFC 241. Yeah, you might have the headliners, but it's not all about the headliners.
And just to add to what you're saying, that became like even worse with the ESPN deal of the UFC. I don't know all the ins and outs of that deal, but I know that they have to like produce a certain amount of fights a year, and they get, you know, what they're gonna get. So just to like, you know, accentuate what you're saying, it became even worse after that deal.
That's what boxing has to do. They have to
Keep
figure out.
cooking. I don't see nothing for Just to Do, so we can cook for like another half hour or so.
They
I don't
might
think
have
Just
to
Do
figure out a
wanted
way to consolidate.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow. Because even with the UFC, it's like we look at the UFC as almost as
Same
if
belt.
it's the Alpha and Omega, but it's only just one faction of MMA. You got like Ryzen and PFL and
Yep.
what's the other one out there in Japan?
Bellator, you
You
got
got Bellator, you got Pride. You know what
Pride.
I mean?
Yeah, Pride used to have some hell of a matches too.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore, but Pride was the shit back in the day.
Pride was, oh my god, matches used to be ridiculous.
Yes,
But
sir.
he's speaking the truth though, but I definitely agree with that. I think that this consolidation also would help with the ambiguity too as well, man, because now we cutting down, trimming the fat, so to speak, so that everybody's got to vie for that one, maybe two, but should definitely be no more than 3 championship belts that you got, man. I mean, it should be just really a champion in each division. Shouldn't be forms of champions in division. It should be just a champion, and everybody got to fight for that. But I agree, man. You know, the more I think the outlets like Box, Pro Box, and all these other like boxing outlets that are pushing out good quality fights help us to know, because, man, speaking to the point again, remember your boy Shushu, he took a fight against a relative unknown, and when he was in a battle, you know, they did my man, the old watch big hat Barroso wrong. Made that man go out there and fight somebody he had no idea he was fighting. So, you know, it's a lot of time we just don't know these people, but these people out there deep in that work, deep in that ethic, and deep in trying to do what they got to do to put their name on the top billing. And them fights not easy. It is never easy. I mean, shoot, Ja, you know what it takes to be up there and go up them 3 steps, bro. It's not easy. The work you got to put in just to get in the shape to get up in the ring. And then to scout your opponent and all that stuff. People a lot of times, man, I was talking last night to my man Ohio Runs Boxing. He was talking about how he had this one excellent prospect out of Ohio, and he was talking about, I'm about to show you that Ohio Runs Boxing. He went up against this one small cat, looked like Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman beat the brakes off of him. You know what I'm saying? It's never easy. And people always don't fit the look of what a champion is, or what somebody that's tough is supposed to look like, but they can be. So yeah, man. Absolutely.
There's a lot more to fight against. when you talking about the West, usually you talking about just America, like the United States, like, cause it's more like Canada, Mexico, that's in the West too, or South America, like that's all in the West. But you really just saying about America, like whenever somebody's saying it, it's a lot more to fight against when it comes to culture, cause a lot of like fake culture pushed, and it's pushed as like an actual culture that's not really what it is. So it's harder to like in other places it's easier to get recognition. You could take an L and that's not the end of your career and all of that.
Hmm. This is true.
True indeed.
So what we got on these fights coming up, man? We got, my man Jai Alpatai about to go over there and fight. What's his name? Nidia? Is it Nidia? Nita?
David Nika.
Nika. Okay, want to make sure. I just know the dude is tough guy. You're a tough guy. Relative unknown too, but that dude, looking at his fights, bro, he come with that physical style, and he don't care about putting punches together, man. He like to let them bad boys go. So that's a good test for Jai.
Yeah. Just look what happened to Mungia a few weeks ago.
Well,
remember?
hey.
Especially if he's gonna see Zurdo later,
What's so good this for Oscar Valdez? I want to see him fight there.
Who, Oscar Valdez?
Yeah.
He just fought Oscar Valdez.
Right. He just fought, what's his name?
Oh. Yep.
Navarrete, yeah.
Navarrete, yeah, man. Come on, he was in his element in that last fight. Come on, man. He had the Mexican style off the 16 pack with it.
Hey, but isn't he supposed to be fighting Espinoza?
Who's that? Nakatani? I mean,
Navarrete. Isn't they supposed to? That's what I was told.
See, that's
I think Valdez is done, personally.
Wonder what weight? Is he at Espinoza? Is he at 126 or 130?
I think 126. The guy that beat Provason.
I thought he was going up though.
Oh, okay.
I thought he needs to.
I didn't know that. Wow.
And they was making I don't know if it's anything being worked out, but I know there was talks of him possibly lining it up with Espinoza.
Okay.
Because of the way his fight went, and Espinoza getting part 2 of that what's the name fight. I think that they still got a rematch scheduled for that fight because of how it transpired. But I don't know what's gonna happen or play out in that. But Espinoza definitely is a big dude, man. Like he like 6'1" or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
I thought he got
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jeff.
I thought he supposed to fight Oshaki first, Navarrete versus Oshaki.
Yeah, he was there watching and everything too. So.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I don't want him to get bypassed, but you know how they do, man.
Yeah.
They fight everybody.
Always got to remember that, T-Hill.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I mean,
I got
Oshaki.
Fight. That's who gotta push that too. That's up to us too, cause we gonna control it. You know what I'm saying? Like peace and blessings to everybody, just like the French Revolution. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't gotta be nobody gotta get hurt. They signed up for this. It's boxing. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be in control. We just gotta push somebody take the loss. Let's see them fight again. You know
what would y'all think about Navarrete and Oshaki? If they did,
Oshaki.
Oshaki.
I would love to see that fight, man. I want to say Oshaki, man, but that last fight, Navarrete showed, man, it's kind of tough to gauge him, bro, and he can just throw shots from anywhere, man. He throwing shots from the shoelaces.
Yeah,
he throwing left hooks from way out.
Oshaki be kind of fading in the later rounds, though. You ain't gonna be able to do.
Yeah, you can't fade against Navarrete too. You going to have to be working. But I like Oshaki because I believe he's talented.
I don't think Vaquero's gonna be able to get away with all that against Oshaki. personally.
Yeah, you right. He keep his.
He got finesse and he's quick with it.
You
Yeah,
gotta
and
pull the trigger though,
Stacey Al gave him
Divine.
trouble.
That's the
Remember?
thing.
Stacey Al had a drew with him. Remember? Had a draw.
Shocky
Mhm.
gotta pull the
He's
trigger.
not that fast as him though.
I mean, Navarrete.
But like Ant saying, he got to pull the trigger though. He can't be trigger shy in that fight with a Navarrete. That's gonna be bad if so.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing about O'Shaquie Foster that I feel like it could potentially hold him back, especially at the world level. Is he'll make a fantastic defensive maneuver. He'll make the guy miss, but then he won't make him pay. He's not consistent with it.
Yeah.
And that was the
Kind
knock
of like we
against
were
him in the
saying with
Casey
Hitchens.
fight. I saw him fight live back in March versus Abraham Nova. It was kind of like the same thing. He would make a nice little defensive maneuver, be very evasive. But it's like, bro, you got to return fire. You can't just make the guy miss and then look at him and then get out of range. Like, tag him after you make him miss.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they'll penalize you if you don't too, man. I mean, I believe that's the reason why Ortiz didn't get the victory over T.O.
At the first Casey Al fight,
Jermaine Ortiz.
Y'all got the win. He had a lot to do with it.
Because they're probably looking at it like, there's a fine line between being defensive and being what people like to say nowadays, a runner. Like, you just getting up out of there, just getting up out the kitchen, and you ain't cooking. But I think Shaq got all the skills in the world. He got great technical ability. He's got good eyes, good vision, good feet. You just got to pull the trigger and then just stand your ground every now and again. Like, you take
Power
that
that
step
carry
back,
late.
step out, he commits, drill him, let him have it.
Yeah, for sure. Utilize that power. It carry late. Put them punches together. You got to put the punches on Navarrete, because if you get him comfortable, then you're going to be guarding against punches coming from all angles at all times.
I agree about the power too, T-Hill. He got solid pop.
He could make it look a lot, but Navarrete not nothing to sleep on at all.
No, hell no.
Have we ever seen his chin tested though, and how you react to that? Like O'Shaquie?
He was in there with Rocky Hernandez, as T-Hill was just about the power carrying late. Rocky Hernandez had like 31 knockouts in like 34 fights, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say like O'Shaquie got a granite chin, but he could take a solid punch. But the thing with him is, once again, it's like, with a guy like Navarrete, as dangerous as he is, as many punches as he throws, and he got solid power himself, you can't just allow that dude to skate up out of there unscathed when you make a miss. Like, you gotta cash in on that.
Absolutely.
And to Cash Sports' point, that's the reason why they had the rematch with Conceição. Because people felt like O'Shaquie won, but then if you look at it from the eyes of the judges, it's like, you're not busy enough.
Yeah, Cass spot on with that.
Yep.
What you think, Cass?
About O'Shaquie and who, Navarrete?
Yeah.
Interesting, man. I gotta see it because it's a good style matchup, But like Ed was saying, if O'Shaquie can make it miss, he can't just make it miss. He got to make him pay for it,
Yeah, I hope he learns.
Like, waste of time just making the man miss, I mean, you get nothing out of it.
Did we ever hear from old boy who had to go to the hospital when they stopped the fight?
It was BC? Which one was that?
I think so.
Oh, the one where he said he headbutt him or hit him with an elbow or something? That was BC, right?
I think he said that.
Yeah. I have never heard anything else about that. Anybody heard anything about that? Didn't you say something about another rematch, T-Hill, between BC and Espinosa?
Well, I was told that there are talks of possible rematch. Okay. I don't know if Espinosa is even trying to entertain it, though, because, I mean, what does he got to prove, to tell you the truth, bro?
That's true.
Well, BC the one that was taller, right?
You said Robisi is taller?
Which was the taller guy he was fighting?
Espinosa.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't want to see that rematch. Espinosa, I want to see him fight again. What was that weight at?
126.
Dad, he won 26 though.
T Hill, didn't you say he had talks of moving up though, right?
Yeah, he was thinking about moving up.
It'll be some interesting
I mean,
fights.
honestly, bro, he don't really got much to prove it that way. And that's he's 6'1", bro.
Right.
Like that's a big dude right there.
Yeah, for 126, damn.
I want to see him come up and wait, see how he is.
Yeah.
And I know you can be slighter built because we see it on Fundora.
And
Ant
it's just
pointed that out.
she
Yeah.
like 5'9" and like 112 or something.
Oh, she is. I thought she tall too. She's real nice, man. I like the way she works behind her jab, man. She makes sure you feel her in every single way.
And she can get in there and mix it up too, you know, just like her brother.
Yeah, she's rugged.
Yeah.
They should
But we were
start.
also talking about that possible matchup between Junto and Naoya. Yeah, and I mean that would be epic, boy. If they can make that fight, I would love to see that fight.
I remember you and
You
Ant
want to see that more than Naoya versus Akhmadaliev?
You know, I'm good with either one. I'm good with either one because Akhmadaliev's not scared, man. He throw them punches. And I think you, like you said, you gotta in order for you to beat this man, you're not gonna just dance around him. That's not gonna happen because he's super quick and he knows how to cut the ring.
Yeah.
And he done been in there with a master boxer in Nonito, so like it ain't nothing you gonna show him that he ain't prepared for. You gonna have to punch in between the punches just like Nonito was able to do in that first fight. You gotta be able to give him something to think about, something that can possibly have him say like, yo, if I throw this, I might get this.
Let me ask you this, T Hill. What made the first the Nonito and Monster, what made the first and second fight so different like that, man? Because damn.
Well, I mean, I can't really divulge anything. I know that I talked to Rachel, and Rachel just said that the second time around, Monster had a lot of input on how things, where they would stay, what gloves they would use, and all kinds of things. And I think that it led to them not really being as focused as possible in that fight. And Naoya is just a phenomenal talent, man. It's like hell, Bud versus Crawford. You can't be even the slightest bit off when they're on their game, their A game, because if so, it could be a quick night or it could be a long night. And you know, it was a quick night for Nonito. It was a long night for Errol Spence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was bad nonetheless.
Yeah.
Because he's that talented, man. You know, I'm not one to believe that nobody is invincible. Everybody can be beat.
That's right.
It's
boxing.
Will they put the focus and the effort, the dedication into their craft and be prepared? And when they are putting that in, how does it assimilate and translate to the ring? Are they able to do that? See, a lot of things that we go ahead.
No, just saying his father is a very good coach too. You know, his father trains.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think that's talked about enough, you know.
For sure. Oh, you want to know what too? And that was a problem that was going on heavily in that time, in that fight. Remember, he was having that issue with his dad and his and his wife. Nonito dad and his wife. They was making things. Well, his dad was making things ugly for them and taking it's public. And you know that you don't want to have to deal with that going through the camp with one of the biggest fights in your life. I mean, I don't have a problem with the first fight being the way it was, but I still thought that Nonito edged that fight out. But I mean, the second fight, it wasn't even close, bro. And it was like a bunch of things. It was a bunch of things. And I mean, like, damn, I was going to a point I forgot what I was talking. What was the point about?
Inoue and Junto, I think.
Oh, no. It was something that I had segued into. I forgot.
Was it Nonito and the Monster? No, we was talking about that for a minute.
No, but it's more so about how you approach things, and you know the way you put the attention to the detail, because those things, they matter when you hop in that ring. If you're just slightly bit off, because it was tapering off of the Terrence Bud Crawford in a way comparison. Like if you're not razor sharp with them, then if you're a little bit off, it can be a long day or it could be a short day. But either way, you're gonna be on the short end of the stick, and there are so many things that factor into it, the way you prepare, and then like how you're able to like take what you train on and put it into the ring. And then when you're in the ring against live competition, can you perform it? And like, I remember one time Ant was doing a breakdown about how in like successive fights, Tank has been working on things that they see their opponents bring to the ring, and he's able to take the training and apply it in the ring, and it yields a positive result. That's pretty tough to do. But if you can do that, you can be focused, then you can be in condition, and you can be free of like the outside activity and noise, because sometimes that's static. It's like when we have somebody that's not really talking right on this StreamYard. It got this like buzz, and that buzz disrupts the flow. And it's like that when you're in the ring too. If you got anything that's disrupting the flow on a night where everybody is at apex condition, apex training, apex physical ability, you have one thing off. That person has that edge over you, and that edge can be big too. Because
the words out of my mouth. Yeah. Go ahead,
oh, my bad. I'm gonna stop talking.
I was just saying, you took the words out of my mouth when you said that edge can be big.
It can be, bro. It can be. It's like football. Football, they say, is a game of inches, bro. And the inches can mean a whole lot. And that inch can be big. Yeah. It can be, that small inch can be a big momentum. Yeah. Switch, change. Yeah, it can turn everything around, man. And people don't recognize how real that is, especially armchair boxers and Twitter boxers. You know what I'm saying? People who talk to these fighters and think that because they got a relationship with these fighters and whatnot, that they know what it is to be a fighter, bro. You don't know what it is to be a fighter until you go through that training camp.
That's right.
So yeah, man, I rock with people, man, because it's not easy to do what they do. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Don't let these people that be out there being bloggers and YouTube influencers go out in the ring and let them.
The couch tough guys.
Yeah. Let them get in the ring with a real boxer and then see how the fight transpired.
Yeah.
Totally different product, bro. And that's what we realize, that when we see that, you got somebody who is like true indeed, not on his best behavior, but still one of the best fighters in the business, and he looked like he didn't belong in the ring because he wasn't at his best, and the other guy was absolutely on top of his ish. Then you got, like I said, on the smaller scale, you got it with O'Neal and what's her name? What was the difference in the fight? It was a whole lot. You got one being absolutely competitive, the other one not being competitive at all.
Yep.
And that wasn't in a small space of time, so it wasn't that Father Time just crept up on his ass. So something was not right. And then you come and find out that it's a lot of things that went on in that fight. And being a professional, he said, no, I want to take the fight now. He was told and advised, nah, let's not take the fight. Let's postpone it. Right. But he was like, no, I don't want to postpone it. I want to take the fight. So yeah, man, you gotta be a little bit more cautious of how you choose your words when you describe these people or when you talk about these people, because these people, they doing something that not everybody can do, not even can get themselves in the preparation of doing, let alone go through there. So like
you say, let alone get in the ring, just getting ready for it.
For sure, that training is Ant did a breakdown on that, man. Like, not only the fights, but the camps.
Right.
You got to realize what those camps do to your body and what you got to do in order for you to make it to that weight. And to make it to that scale and get in that ring, boy, that's like a fight in itself.
You got to sustain it for 12 rounds.
Fights.
like a negative stigma because it's called a poor
Yeah.
man's sport, and it's just like, but they treat a lot of fighters like they low IQ because they choose to fight, but
Mm-hmm.
really take an extremely high IQ just
Oh yeah.
overall to live a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like mental conditioning is a big
Yeah.
deal, but you might be looked at as you got low mental conditioning because what
Yeah.
you're doing is you fighting. So it's like if you
Right.
going to
Yeah, there's
choose
this impression that the fighters are like, well, I'm gonna say low IQ, like you said, because the word is a different one. But yeah, like there's a common image that people get fighters and also MMA. Not to get into MMA, but I'm just saying, like, and sadly, you've seen how they've been able to take advantage of these fighters. Sometimes even your own blood, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm. And like T Hill was saying about the focus and all of that, being prepared. And at the top level, like championship fight, you got to do that for 12 rounds. You know,
yep,
you got to be.
I remember they was going on Floyd because they was saying he can't read, but they never like balanced that out with showing how smart he is in the ring. Like look at
Mm-hmm.
all the different fighters he faced. Look how smart he looked in those fights. Like he looked like a genius,
Yeah,
things like that. And like that take that and just putting it together with the physicality.
that's
Like
right.
you got to get in there, and then you got your reflexes on point with it. Like
Yeah,
that being
it was
together.
so easy. How come all fighters can't do that? Do what Floyd did? It's so easy.
Yo, Ant, what was you about to say, man? I heard you about to chime in. What was you about to say? Oh, maybe Ant not there no more.
Yeah, I think he's
No, I'm
still in
here.
here.
I'm
He
here.
might be on a call or something.
No, I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
Yo, yo.
Okay.
Who
See
you
my
ever
damn.
seen more smarter in the ring than Floyd Mayweather?
Oh, I hear Ant now.
Oh no, I can't think of many. T-Roy.
I just
Only
think that's just how it is in life in general. Everybody's looking at what people choose to do, and things appear to be a lot easier on the outside looking
Mm-hmm.
in. And that's with anything. Because I
That's
even
true.
see the same thing. It occurs in music. You might look at somebody who's on stage rapping and be like, oh, all they doing is saying some words. But then
Right.
most people would get in front of a damn camera and just clam up.
Breathe like a mud.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I salute anybody that's doing what they want to do and doing it their way, because the sad truth is that most of us are conformists. Most of us are living somebody else's aspiration, somebody else's life, and they're not following through. We're not following through what we really want to do. That's where the real courage comes in. Like if you wanted to be a boxer and you chose that lifestyle and you did it, I commend you regardless of what level you're on. Same for a
Mm-hmm.
basketball player or a surgeon or an obstetrician. It's like if this is what you always wanted to do and you weren't, afraid to follow through and commit. Just because committing to anything is difficult in and of itself. Just commitment itself is a challenge.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
People drop out of stuff all the time.
yes,
All the time.
As we speak, somebody's dropping out of school. They
Dropping
thought
out.
they was gonna be sweet. Hey, I'm gonna go to school, but they dropping out right now.
No, absolutely.
that's a tricky one too, man. Cause it's like be yourself. Like if you
That's right.
like me, I'm an artist. If I'm gonna be myself, then I'm gonna be the artist that I want to be. It's gonna
That's
be
right.
something good.
That's the best
Like
person you
I
can
don't
be.
see nobody is really like no person is out here like, oh, I meant myself is something bad, cause that don't equate to benefiting yourself, like don't wronging yourself. So it's like I think sometimes we confuse being ourselves with just like a state of temporary comfort. That's something that's actually wronging ourselves, but we comfortable doing that. Like if I'm smoking cigarettes or something, and I was to
Mm-hmm.
say like I'm just being myself, I just like smoking. Like nah, being myself and be able to elevate and have more discipline than that. I like that though. Like
I agree to this extent though, Ja, because it's a matter of, your level of exposure as well. Like you can't aspire to anything that you aren't privy to.
Sure.
And we can't hold what we know over somebody else and make projections and think that automatically that not smoking for them it would be better. It's like, yo, if this is what you enjoy and you're not just like willfully ignorant to all of these choices, but you're making a choice. You're making a decision like, yo, this is what I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel where you're coming from. Because there are
Yeah,
times like
totally.
I've been there myself where you get comfortable in a particular cycle or pattern, and it's like, man, this ain't really
Yep.
what I want to do, or this ain't really who I want to be. But this is so familiar. This is
Yeah.
this is comfortable, but it's uncomfortable at the same time because on the other side of this behavior, I got ideals that are not in alignment with my current actions. They're not in alignment. And that's where the conflict usually comes from inside, and you have some sort of friction between what you're doing and your ideal self.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's tricky. That's tricky. I like that because, like, for me, I look at that, it make me go into further where it's just like, all right, yeah, you doing something that's wrong in yourself, but you owning it, and you got good intentions about it. That's one thing, but you doing something and it's wrong in somebody else, then that's no excuse for that. Like that's not something you could be like, all right, I got good intentions to stop wronging
Mm-hmm.
this person, and
Like
I'm gonna
that,
do
Jarrell.
this.
Owning it.
Something,
Yeah. I like that. Mm-hmm. I'll go
yeah,
with you, Jarrell.
something immediate. Like ain't no excuse. Like you wronging somebody, it's not an excuse to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait to stop doing that, cause that it's not about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I see it's like something that we could all work on collectively. Like if I'm doing like smoking is something that's not something you could really be like, oh, point the finger here over there, but like wronging somebody, like, and if you like somebody say you taking food out of somebody off of their plate or taking away from them providing for their family or something like that, and you feel like you gonna wait till later to discipline yourself on doing that or make an excuse on why you need to do that, then that ain't gonna work out. Like that's something you need to do immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's deep. That's cool though. Yeah, I like what you said about owning it though, you know.
Yeah, you own yourself,
Yep.
especially when you wrong yourself. You know what I'm saying? That could
Mm-hmm.
elevate to others as well, cause you setting like if I'm doing something in front of my children, and if I'm by myself and they not in my space, then it's not the same as if they in my space. Like immediately, I gotta fix that. It's not no waiting on that, cause it's not always just about you. And
That's
then
true.
even if I see somebody else's children, and it's not the same level as your own, but it's still real. It's not something to be like, oh, I don't care, and just brush it off. Like, that ain't my child that I'm setting that example for, so I just treat it
Yeah.
like it ain't.
You gotta say it's
It's,
somebody's child though, you know.
yeah, I wanted to be a butterfly domino effect. You know what I'm saying? Just a butterfly domino effect, because that's what the harmony part is. Peace, blessings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Because you would, like you in front of somebody else's child, you wouldn't want that person to do that in front of your child, right? So, you got to keep all that in perspective. You know what I mean? So you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do it in front of anybody else's child either, right? You just think to yourself, is somebody doing that in front of my child because that's not their child? You know what I mean?
No
I
doubt.
hear you. I
Yeah,
hear
that's
you.
the thing I like
Yeah.
about Floyd and his press conferences. Like, like a lot of people, they call Floyd a cherry pick, but that's like that was just hoopla. But like most of the time, I seen him bigging up his opponents, and then that made the fight even better. Like, oh yeah, this definitely about to be a fight. The person that we expect to win and saying that this opponent is valid. Like, so
Hmm.
I
But
just
okay,
think,
y'all, I gotta get ready to make a move. But anybody got anything? If you want to close out with anything, you got to get off your chest right now before we
peace
get up
and
out of here.
blessings.
Great
Nah, I'm
discussion, though.
good.
Great
Good stuff.
discussion. Wow, that was deep, man. Yeah, I
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it.
definitely enjoyed this panel, man. It was a lot of good things to cover, a lot of good things to talk about, and
Oh yeah.
see how we can start having a truer appreciation of the things we did. I think, like Ant said,
Hmm.
to cap off was poignant, man. You got to start really respecting people who are out there giving it their all, regardless of what we define as success,
That's right.
because they truly put themselves out there to do what they chase as their dreams or what they absolutely love, and whether
Mhm.
successful or not, they committed to it.
And we being
That
entertained by
helps
it.
you as a person.
You
That
know?
respect, that respect helps you as a person, man or
Yeah.
woman, whatever. As a person, you grow when you do as T. Hill said, show
Hmm.
appreciation for that, for people just busting their ass, or people that have gotten there already, or whatever. Even if they started yesterday, who cares? Like, respect the fact that they have, freaking tried it, bro.
That's right.
For
So,
real.
so to piggyback off of that before we close out, man,
Hmm.
I think that's what you see in Japan when you see a fight. That's how they all quiet. They don't really do much any of noise. They're
Hmm.
appreciating the professionalism being put on display and respecting them for the sacrifice and the artistry that they're showing in the ring. And I think that's why you get people showing up in Britain for them fights, because
Yeah,
they respect what these people do.
that is a good
Yes.
point, T. Yeah, that's a
We
good
need to
point.
do better.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell the truth, you know what I'm saying? Be honest, have integrity. You have an integrity, then you could it's like if you could plot on a scheme, then you could plot on if you got a debt, how to make it right. It's many different debts. It's not all about money when it comes to debt. It could be
That's right.
you did somebody wrong. You gotta tell the truth and see how you can seek forgiveness. Like some people try to go around real life and just go straight to God. God gonna forgive you for sure. But you still
Hmm.
gotta live this life.
You gotta
That's
see
so.
this through, bro.
Yep. Well, okay, gentlemen. I appreciate everybody as usual. We do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Friday, January 3rd.
Shoot, I'm going to give my shout out, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to those who supported my man Cast Sports with a like, a comment, a subscription, Cash App, whatever form it was, man, is greatly appreciated. Shout out to the great Aunt McQueen, Breakdown Shorty, aka The Value, always giving us a sound perspective on blocks. And shout out to Define Otter.
Hmm.
We call him now affectionately the credentialist. Because that man go out there and he covers sports with credentials, boy, and he got nothing but facts behind what he say. Shout out to the young champ Jarrell Hadid, who get up in that ring and he could talk about it because he was about it. Can't nobody throw no shade on that. And shout out to Cash Sports, the box story, for giving us that good talk, that good history, that walk down memory lane on Boxing Avenue, bro. Nothing but love for
God
you
bless
all.
you, bro.
Happy New
Appreciate
Year to you all.
You too.
appreciate you. Okay. We were getting ready to get out here. Let me shout out this great panel. Who do we have? Dear Fine Arnie, T. Hill, Jarrell Hattie, B3, and Attentive Aunt McQueen. A fire panel. Appreciate all you gentlemen. And we're getting ready to get out of here. No Just Do Boxing today. The next show will be BVO Boxing TV is at 8 p.m. And then the Rise podcast at 9. Everybody have a great afternoon. And join me tomorrow for the profile, the life and career of Carmen Basilio. Because you know, if it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Everybody have a great afternoon.